All right, everybody. We have an amazing match. And it's a Zerg vs. Zerg, but apparently this is one of those mirror matchups that's not a mirror matchup. I have had this series recommended to me by so many people over the last little while saying, when are you going to cast SCARLETT here in the bottom left up against Armani in the top right? And I was like, well, you know, Armani, let's be real. A very good player, a great Korean pro player, but not someone who inspires the most amazing sense of awe in a lot of the fans, because he has great moments, but overall does get outshined usually by the rogues, the darks, even previously the impacts, you know, the solars, all of these different players in Korea who do tend to perform better than him. But Armani, for those who don't know, has really been on the up and up for the last few years and has been developing and evolving his playstyle. And he has these moments where he looks like a perfect player. So he's going to be facing off against SCARLETT, a player who is on an absolute tear. Of course, this is a final qualification match for the Team Liquid Star League, for those who don't know. So this was a big open qualifier, hundreds of players signed up to play, and these two have found themselves now in a best of 5. We should probably chuck that scoreboard up. There we go. There it is. To show it is, of course, first to 3 wins to win it. It's a Zerg vs. Zerg. They've both opened Hatchcast Pool. Now, the great thing about Zerg vs. Zerg, and really the mirror matchups in general, is, let's be honest, they were quite boring in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. For anyone who's like, oh, those games were so much better. Well, I would argue with you that they aren't that much better than Legacy in quite a few regards. I would argue also there were some advantages to like the slower worker start. I don't think it's black and white, but what I will say is black and white is PvP, TVT, Zerg vs. Zerg are so much more exciting to watch. I think you could argue that TVT was still entertaining in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, but Protoss vs. Protoss and definitely Zerg vs. Zerg are so much more fun these days. A lot of people, and I really think it's due to Raynor and Serral especially, have said, you know, ZvZ is the best mirror matchup now. And a lot of people look at players like Armani and they say, well, not when Armani is playing, not when Koreans are playing, because usually the Koreans are so busy trying to kill each other, it's not that exciting. It's just not that exciting, right? It's like, no, they just kill each other too quickly. It's like one player all ins and it either works or it doesn't work. Well, even that story has been put to rest recently, because think about how many times we've cast Rogue versus Dark in the last year, and they keep having draw games. They are so evenly matched, and Dark is such a cheesy bastard. And Rogue also answers him with his own cheesy bullshit when he thinks it's going to work. And the thing is, they keep having draws. So Dark and Rogue keep having amazing matches. But not only that, guys, SCARLETT, the Queen of Mind Games, she's got some fantastic strategies. She is the player who, honestly, if she played like 1% better in one of a series of matches in 2018, she would have broken Serral's winning streak. So for those who don't know, Serral's year of dominance in 2018, SCARLETT was the one player who always knew how to take advantage of him, and she'll be the first to admit she kind of dropped the ball a couple times and let him win series that he kind of had no business winning. Like she should have been getting a couple of 3-1s versus him that year, and at least maybe not ending his life in the tournament, but at least knocking him to the bracket, to the lower bracket, that sort of thing. So SCARLETT's an incredibly good Zerg vs. Zerg player. Armani going for the Southeast Asian Zerglings. Guys, this is something I grew up with as a young player. We used to do this so much because we, of course, were the cheesiest and shittest region. Oceania, Southeast Asia represent. We'd always just, basically, we had way too many Zerg players, and we would always just rally random Banelings in while distracting the opponent. Is SCARLETT going to fall for it, though? Yes, she is. She's not looking. Okay. Oh, no. She's going to try and spread her drones. Okay, not too bad. The Queen managed to kill one. The Queen was well positioned enough. As long as you kill one Baneling, guys, a single Baneling can't kill the rest. So she didn't really care too much there. Of course, Zerglings run in for her, but she does get one drone. She just got a single worker there, and she's going to try and run past. She sees the Roachhorn in the wall right now. Keep in mind, guys, Armani does not have a lair. He's going all in. So he could not let her in. He's going to use Ling Bane to cover what he's doing, and he's massing roaches with +1 range. He's going to go for a massive hatch tech attack off 41 drones. SCARLETT, on the other hand, she's on 53 drones. She's going melee. A Roach Horn just for safety, just in case she needs it, and she's going to drop a Spire. Right? Where is her Spire? She's forgotten to drop her Spire. SCARLETT. She's playing Mutiling Bane, but she's so distracted right now, she's forgotten to put her Spire down. I mean, to be real, the Spire's not actually going to keep her alive. Maybe she realizes because there's not many drones on the third. Oh, she does. Oh, she knows what he's doing. Okay, she's made a good read here. She knows what's coming. The Banelings get some of her workers. She sees these with the Overlord as well, so she knows, okay, this is coming. She's starting her spine, so she's going to save the rest of her lava for building roaches. But right now, she's got to defend with just Ling Bane, and Ling Bane versus Roach Bane is absolutely horrendous, because as long as Armani just has a few Banelings guarding his roaches, she can't collapse on it. So she's gonna have to pull out here with Queen Ling Bane. Now there's not that many roaches just yet, so she looks for a surround. She'll pull back, pull back, pull back. Scarlet! Oh no! Was this a Korean server qualifier? How did she do? That was a massive miss micro, and now her Banelings are so clumped. This is so... Scarlet, what is this micro? Oh no, Scarlett's doing pig micro. She's been watching too much of my stream. She pig microed it, and Armani takes an easy game 1 victory despite her getting the read. Her Roach Horn was not down quick enough, even though she made that read so early. That's why she didn't build the Spire. She needed to put spines down earlier than that, and she needed to prioritize them in between the natural and the third, not at the third base. Obviously, she thought he was going to attack the third. He came in the middle. Her spines weren't there. They were still just finishing up. And some very sloppy micro from SCARLETT. GG. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to game number 2. If all of the games are as anticlimactic as that last one, I'm going to go out on a limb and say people are not just SCARLETT fanboys. They are literally like... You know, like you guys, you know how like your parents, they're like, oh, you're perfect. Like, you know, parents think their kids are perfect. They're like, they can't see, like you could have things that are seriously wrong with you, but your parents will be like, nah, you're perfect in my eyes, little Jimmy. I sometimes think SCARLETT fans do have the same effect, but I cross my fingers because I think, you know what, it's a best of 5 just because the first game was a bit of a bop. SCARLETT dropped the ball. People going, yeah, SCARLETT, high pressure moment. It's a qualification match. This is where sometimes she lets me down. Well, you know what? You know what, gang? I think that was one game that is, I think that's the red herring to say this is going to be a crap series. But why would so many people have suggested this series if that was it? It can't just be she dies to simple timing attack. It was a good timing attack from Armani, but let's be real, it also wasn't the best. Now, why was it not the best timing attack from Armani? Now, the reason is, guys, when you do that attack, part of the whole thing is, number 1, you're meant to wall off the natural so the opponent can't get into scout. Armani had a big fat hole in his wall that was not small enough to get blocked by a single queen. So number 1, I didn't like his wall off. Number 2, he didn't even put fake drones on the third. So normally what you do is you'll take like 8 drones from your natural, move them to your third to mine, because they can't get inside your natural, your queen's blocking the wall off, but they see lots of drones on the third and they go, oh, you're droning up your third base, you're playing a macro game. Armani didn't even do that, which is why SCARLETT got the read on what he was doing so early. Now, she still obviously had built way more workers than him. It's a hard position defending with Ling Bane. But I think what we also need to point out is, what should she have done there, guys? She needed to pull her Lings back. She needed to try to get her Banelings to cancel out his Banelings, which is really hard because he's got roaches that are range units that can focus down her Banes. But I think she should have been doing a bit more backstabbing with her Zerglings, force him to leave more Ling Bane at home. And when you do that, you can then bring that Ling Bane back to your side of the map and collapse. And what that does is it distracts your opponent. It's really hard for them to defend your Ling Bane if all their Banelings and roaches are on your side of the map, right? So I think she should have maybe backstabbed, cut off the reinforce, and just kind of forced him to split his attention and slow down his push just a little bit, as well as she should have saved a bit more lava for roaches. SCARLETT, she basically made that call where you're like, oh, well, my roach horn isn't going to be done in time, so I'm just going to spend all my lava on Ling Bane. But then her roach horn's finishing like as the attack comes in, and she can't even build roaches because she just spent all her lava on Zerglings, which, as we saw, not too good against Banelings, right? So I really would have liked SCARLETT to just save her lava a bit more, be willing to kind of give up ground and let him push into her base. And maybe she could have hung on in that scenario. But as it was, obviously she just kind of took the worst possible fight. It was one of those games where everyone's had that in ZvZ. You just kind of mess up your control groups or something. You think you click your Zerglings back, they don't. Maybe your computer has a slight lag spike or something, and then it's just like, all your Zerglings are dead, and you're like, well, that's a dumb way to lose the game, but it is what it is. So we've got Zerglings going all over the place. 28 drones for Armani, 32 for SCARLETT. Amazing. For those that don't know, we have a guy in chat who's been getting coaching from Salir, the famous pro who's swindled people out of coaching. Apparently he started actually coaching people, but still kind of dropping his sessions left, right, and center. So an interesting little we're getting live updates from a few people who have bought coaching with him and keep having it postponed. Guys, this is a 28 drone mass Link Bane attack. This is insanely committed right now. 3 queens, non-stop Link Bane production. I mean, Scarlett's, oh, that queen left in the open. That queen left in the open, but, oh, okay, good. Yeah, I mean, she'll lose it, but he's gonna have to sacrifice quite a few lings going in one at a time to get it. Now, she's just gotta keep making banelings here. Oh, Southeast Asian banelings, Southeast Asian banelings! Oh, 9 drones. Oh, she's getting overwhelmed, and she only just started extra baneling morph. Oh no, and now she's losing. I mean, it's worth trading the Zerglings so you don't lose more drones, but if she gets overrun now, a big mistake for Scarlett. Now, his reinforce is a little late. The fact that he's building 24 Zerglings at once tells us that Armani was maybe missed a little bit of production. Oh, look at this. He's microing his baneling. He wants to catch all of her Zerglings popping out. Does he land it? No. He only gets about 2 or 3 Zerglings, so not the most amazing Link Bane here. She needs to be morphing more banelings. So right now, Scarlett's doing what I call an EU. Doing an EU is where you think if you're going to micro everything perfectly in a chaotic situation, and then you die to Asian aggression, and you wonder why Koreans attack a lot. She's not making enough banelings, is my point. She's really cutting it fine with minimal baneling production. She's going to need exceptional micro to pull this off. I mean, she's still up 4 workers. If she could get her queens together at the front, that's the important thing, is she's still got a queen at the front. Queens are what gives you efficiency in this scenario. She gets that baneling just before it finishes morphing. So she does manage to push this back for now. Doing an EU, and the thing is, guys, so just to give that context, if you're Serral, when you do an EU, it actually works. And for nobody else does it work, right? Doing an EU is basically being like, I'll play perfect. No one plays perfect except Serral. That's why it's such a fucking meme. Oh my god, okay, she gets good hits. Her queen's still alive. That queen will die, but she's still got some stuff. She's going to be able to stop those banelings from morphing. She gets 1, 2. That one's going to go, though. Boom, boom. Oh, she got it a second before it finished morphing. Oh, my lord. Okay, cool. So check it out. Okay, so she's now droning, and she's got a Spire going. Armani is beyond all in. He really needed to be splitting the attention into the natural at the same time. You can't keep attacking the same angle because she's got queens up front. That's an impregnable position. Armani cannot breach this angle. He needs to now multi-prong a little bit and try to find an opening. Good baneling positioning, but doesn't actually get the money hit. And she's actually cutting him off. He's trying to get on in. She didn't leave any safety banelings up in the natural or the main. Her banelings come over, though. Armani has to back off. He's still coming in. Those 3 queens need to be kept alive. Your queens are your defensive anchor. They are what allow you to snipe down the enemy banelings as they come in. She didn't leave a baneling. As I said, she's a bit too focused on the front, and she's going to pay a big price for it. She's being so greedy in the midst of this. Armani's so all in, and she keeps on trying to toe that line of greed. She's still only on 2 queens now after one of them died at the front. Link Bane rolls in the 3rd as well. Doesn't quite kill all the drones. 5 of them go down. That Zergling in the main goes down. She's fighting with workers. Her natural's been evacuated. Ooh, baneling barely doesn't hit all those workers, but there's more coming in behind it, guys. This is a shit show. Armani has literally, he's doing it because she assumed he was droning. She's like, there's no way you'd just keep all inning. I've stopped your attack. I have queens and banes. But he's like, no, I'm all in, dude. I know you've got a lair up. I can't transition. I need to kill you right now. And Scarlett, she's got some banelings, but they're all kind of together on one key. She's got one mud. Baneling! Oh my god, that was a big baneling. These drones are running. She's got no mining. Her main, oh, she's dead. She's dead. I think she might just be dead, guys. She's got like a few drones there, but they're all dying. She's lost 33 workers. Oh no, Scarlett's greed is just a little bit too much in this game. And those drones on the 3rd are gone. The queen in the natural goes down. The main still has Zerglings in it, stopping her from getting back to mining. She's going to get knocked back to 2 bases here and down on workers. I don't know if the Spire makes up for this. At this point, it's an easy ask for Armani. He should keep hammering the natural, but she's got banelings and lings up. She's cleared up the main. So, okay, she's okay. She can hang on for now onto her natural. So Armani needs to drone, and he starts droning only now. He should also take a 4th base and go melee upgrades. So if he actually goes melee Zergling upgrades here, he cannot lose this game. I think it's very hard for Scarlett to do anything, even though she's got a good army. But Armani's just got to kind of wait on the edges and not commit into the muters, because they will get good trades. Oh no, Armani with a bit of a clump on his Banes. His Banes are going to walk on in though, and she messed up. Oh, she let him in. She let him in. She can't be taking more damage right now. Where are his Zerglings, though? It looks like she zoned out his Zerglings really well. His Zerglings could not get past her Banelings, but still 10 drones, massive damage. And behind this, he's building spores, which is a big mistake, guys. So I know it sounds silly, but in this scenario, you never want to build spore crawlers because his economy is so low. You need to just hold down the drone key and basically never give up the Zergling momentum. So that's what you do is you defend the mutas by saying, hey, if your mutas come across the map, you're fucking dead. Now, obviously, she can defend her ramp with Banelings, so there's an argument behind get some spores. And he doesn't know. Maybe she has 6 or 7 mutas on the way, right? So he's like, okay, I better get a few spores just in case. He's playing it really safe with the Spore Queen. Thing is, if you take a 4th base, she can't really kill that. She can't do much about that, but he's just got to keep up the Zergling's advantage and always be poised up here and down here, ready to backstab her and keep the fighting on her side of the map. And it's simply a production matter. If you have 3 bases, you go up to a 4th base, and then you just keep basically getting Ling upgrades. You could even swap into mutas yourself. You can go Infestors, Vipers, whatever you feel like. The thing is, she can't afford a Roach transition. She is hamstrung right now. She is stuck on mutas on a 2-base economy, and he's simply got a bigger economy, does Armani. The thing is, Armani right now, by going for a conservative Roach transition, is going to go all in on Nidus Queen. And that, it can work, but it can also throw the game. It does not ensure victory. It's actually one of the few scenarios she can get back in the game. And I'm feeling from the way he's not going for a 4th base, that's actually really big. You might think a 4th base is greedy. Remember, their main bases are already half mined out. So he's only on 2.5 bases of minerals. He doesn't actually have that big economy up, and he's massing queens and roaches right now off just 48 drones. So the scenario here normally is get a base above the muta player, drone it up, use your backstabs to keep him kind of pinned back, and you can try to do it. But he's going for the Nidus all in. As I said, Armani wants the simplest solution to just take his advantage and bury her. And I mean, I still don't see her defending it. I'm like, this is one of the things she could defend technically. It's unlikely. He's got an Overlord hidden in the back. She does not know about it. He's going to be going for lots of Roaches, Queens, Roach speed. No upgrades for him. Whereas, of course, SCARLETT is going +1 attack, building more mutas. She's got her 3rd base on the way. She's trying to drone it right now, though. She has no information on what's happening. And, oh, she's going to see... Okay, I think see that many queens, you immediately check for Nidus Worms. You've got to, right? But you see that many queens, it's like, well, he could march across the map. But I mean, personally, if I was her, I'd be thinking about a Roach transition myself. I'd be like, God damn, I don't know if I'm ever going to overwhelm that many queens. I think for her, though, she's going to go for the critical mass where you can one-shot the queens before they can even transfuse each other. And that works just as well. There's a point where queens ruin Mutalisks. Oh, this is quite obvious here. She knows about it. She knows about it. She's not going to let this Nidus get up there. He's going to have to pop it behind her 4th base. Yeah. As that gets spotted, he pops it up there. So he's going to come in there and he's going to encroach towards her natural. She doesn't have any spines up. Okay, so let's talk about that critical mass. The critical mass, guys, mutas suck balls against queens because they do pretty low damage because queens just keep transfusing. Queens have longer range. Queens are super tanky. But if you get enough to one-shot the queens so they can't transfuse each other, it's a different story. And she actually gets on top before he pops the queens out. Now, he's going to try and pop it out in the same spot one more time. Roaches are trying to shove on in here, trying to get rid of these drones, trying to do damage. But her mutas are clearing a lot of them. Still no spines. She is going for the air dominance. She's going to try and get back in this with the muta advantage. This reminds us of Rogue versus Dark on Oblivion in one of their recent series, right? In GSL, where Rogue was just locked. I think it was season 2. Rogue was just locked on that low economy, but he got the muta mass and he actually did surprisingly well. Can she do it? She doesn't have the critical mass. She does not have the critical mass. She can't get through the transfuse. The Lings are helping her a lot though. Oh, where are the Roaches to guard here? The Roaches are going to go in and counterattack. It looks like she might be able to overwhelm, but that was not a great trade for her, guys. She just lost 9 mutas there for 7 queens. And that sounds okay. It's not great, though, because that's her lifeline. Somehow she's got enough Zerglings to take over these Roaches, though. The units are all kind of split. Armani does need to gather his forces. He's actually losing a lot of straggler units. She's going back down to drone from her 3rd long distance because she is desperate for cash right now. And so is going to begin the TLO Spore creep. So he's going to crawl the Spore Crawlers forward with the Queens, with the Roaches. And honestly, she's in a terrible scenario right now. I don't know what you do. Okay, backstab, yeah. She knows she can't win a frontal fight, so she's going to run in and ravage his workers. And that is definitely a thing. If you stall this push out even a little, the Ling backstab can be huge. And she's done just that. 17 mutas are there. A few Roaches are on the 3rd. Those drones are going to try and fight and try to defend these Roaches as best they can. Meanwhile, she's going to take the gold base. Oh, that's a Chad move, that is. She's going to take the gold base. Under pressure, a very good choice there. Now, the Roaches should be able to defend this eventually, but remember, they do not have any upgrades, neither do the Zerglings. And if you don't have upgrades, either of you, that's just fine. SCARLETT accidentally attacking an extractor there. A little bit of a micro mistake from her. And you know what, guys? She's up in workers. She's back in this game. I told you guys that Roach Queen Knight is simplest solution, but it's the production advantage that wins you games. It really is the production advantage that wins you games. A Muta player just does not have the damage density. If he just dropped her fourth and droned it, there was nothing she could do against that. But Armani here going for the very simple timing attack solution. And you know what? She's alive now. Is she in a good spot? Fuck no. But he doesn't know about the gold base, so if she can mine that, then suddenly Armani could let this slip away. Now the question is, how does she deal with the spores? Well, it's hard for them to get up the ramp, isn't it? So as long as she has the henticle wall here, she's got the wall of spines, and she can just kind of focus the queens and stuff as they move up. Whoa, SCARLETT there accidentally strays forward, does make a bit of a mistake. Now, meanwhile, Roaches have found her gold base, but she's getting in and killing tons of drones as well with her Zerglings. Oh, this is wild. Now, her Mutas are still trying to defend with the Henticle Wall. She's getting big damage in the main. She's picking off so many drones right now, but she's lost her gold base mining. Her Muta's going to come forward. They get a Spore Crawler, but she loses 2 or 3 Mutas for it. She's lost 12 Mutas now, and that is very expensive. Remember, that Muta count getting to a critical mass is so important, and that critical mass, when you're involving spores in the equation, a 1 armor 400 hit point thing rather than a queen which only has 175 hit points. It's literally impossible. You need, like, I don't know, with +2 maybe I guess Mutas are doing 11 damage a shot now, so you need literally 40 Mutas to one-shot a Spore. That's just not happening. There's no way you're getting 40 Mutas. You're on 26 going to 28, one-shotting a Spore and also getting all the Mutas to shoot at the exact same time is near impossible. So she's gonna have to try and kind of catch him out of position a little bit here. Now, looks like more Zerglings ran in and got that. She's redroning her gold. She's leaving a few Mutas there. She's still trying to backstab with Zerglings. If SCARLETT can resurrect herself in this game, it's going to be ridiculous. Remember that he got her down to about 20 workers at one point, but Armani has just been on kill mode right now, and it can be effective, but it can also fuck you over. Let's see exactly how it goes. Oh, she gets a Ravager too! 3! She just got 3 Ravagers without even trading a Muta for it. Her Lings get in. Random Roach does defend it, but her gold base is in peril once more. She's got to split off a squad of Mutas. Her drone's going to go walkie-walkie, so she's going to keep sending those back. She's got an Overseer. Burrow Roaches will not be enough to deal with that. Ravager's still coming forward. So he's trying to bile the spines down because he's like, if I can get rid of the spines, I can just walk up here with my queens and spores, right? And I think even now, Armani, I guess he can't move a spore there because the spines will kill it. And she keeps sending changelings forward. He keeps having to click on it to get rid of her vision. Looks like he just killed a Zergling run by of hers. Her Muta's going to hunt these Roaches down in the bottom. He's going to keep looking for those biles, but she keeps looking for the snipes on the Ravagers. Guys, I said she would never get to 40 Mutas. She's at 33 right now, going on 35. She's picking off a few Roaches. She's picking off these spores. I said you can move the spores up there. No, you can't. Oh, she just smacks those 2 spores so quickly. And this is a scenario. The thing is, Armani's composition, it's so good versus Mutaling if you add Infestors to it, right? If you drone. So there is actually a really cool thing where you can actually have an economic transition sometimes in these scenarios. Not off 25 workers, though. Not off 25 workers. So I don't mind the Roach Queen sometimes Nidus, but in a situation where your opponent gets an impregnable ramp like that, you just can't keep forcing the issue. Oh, okay. Oh my god, the queens are getting one-shot. The queens are all getting one-shot away from the Spore Crawlers as well. Armani should not have strayed away from the spores. For those who don't know, spores do 30 damage a shot versus Mutas, and he's being checkmated. The Lings were on his 3rd. Right again, losing his mining, and SCARLETT literally digs her way out of the grave after chucking a bit of an EU, playing way too greedy and putting herself in a compromised situation. But goddamn, that's a good comeback. I love the gold base under pressure. The spines here to hold on. A fantastic defense from SCARLETT, and she ties up a series which very easily could have been 0-2 at this point. All right, guys, let's go. It's time for Shopify Rebellion SCARLETT on Glittering Asses. In the top right, we've got Armani. He's going to go for a 12-pool gasless opening on the biggest map in the pool. So are you drone pulling with this? Are we going completely all in? This is a very long rush distance, I think, isn't it? So I don't actually know the rush distances on the new maps. I just look at this map and I go, this is a big map. It'd take a long time to get across here. So I think he's gonna dodge the Overlord, go down this path on the right, and then come up this way into her natural. The question is, does he pull drones for the complete all-in? If he does, he'll do it in about 5 seconds, guys. Do we see all but 3 drones pull for the offense? Because if not, I think it's objectively a bad build that's relying on your opponent messing up their micro, but he's doing it. Okay, here we go. 10 drones being pulled, only 4 left at home. It's a big old all-in, and you know what? Yeah, it's gonna go to the right side. I don't know if her Overlord's a path to spot this at all. She's not gonna see it till it's in her face. So the thing is, this could hit, and she might, on a big map, sometimes this can work because they commit to so many drones. Because she might build like an Overlord, a few more drones, and then this hits her and she just dies, right? Watch her production, guys. If she builds more drones, oh no, if she builds 1 more drone, she's probably dead. I don't think she can defend. If she builds 1 more drone, she's dead. Keep an eye on that. Another lava's about to pop out, but okay, it gets seen. So she's gonna go spine in the main immediately. 2 Zerglings on the way immediately. Very quick response from her. She sees the drones in here. She knows what's happening. 3 offensive spine crawlers for Armani. He says, those Hentacles did well for you in the last game. I got some Hentacles of my own, mate. That spine, I liked it because it was a pretty safe position in the back, but does get canceled there. She's going to come and try and fight this with superior numbers, but notice he's just dancing around. He's saying, okay, all I've got to do is let these spines finish. And look, he's fighting in like kind of a choke point here where she can't get all of her forces to bear, but she's getting a pretty good surround on some of those Zerglings. So as healthy as the spine crawlers are, I do think he's lost a lot of his units. I don't know how this works out. Queen can defend the main base. She's got to, oh, Scarlet's got to be real careful though. Okay, so now she needs to like make sure that that's rallied over there. This is rallied. Oh, no, he's going to come and fight us straight away. Oh, he's going to come straight down there. Armani just wants to immediately evict her from the natural, and she's going to evacuate and fight the spine in the main. Oh, she's going to fight up here. 2 of his spines are uprooted. Her spine is rooted right now, and they are both having a good root. These 2 spines, her spine, of course, wins with the help of the Queen and Lings. She's got a transfuse about to kick in as well. Her drone count's very low, though. Remember, if she loses all her drones, she's dead because she can't rebuild. Whereas it's a little different for him. Even with the transfuse, her spine will go down, guys, and that means her spawning pool is in jeopardy. She's got 7 workers, but I think she might just be dead now. Even though he's only got 4 workers mining, he's got 2 spines and a Ling rally, and he's going to start inching a spine into range of her minerals as well. I mean, that means this drone needs to micro to the left, I think, because that's barely in spine range just there. So depending on the timing, it might get hit if the spine's off cooldown when it's there. Maybe not. Could be misjudging that. Queen almost gets the Zergling kill. Not bad there for Scarlett. She's looking pretty dead. She wants to fight with the Broodlings. The Broodlings pop out of the spawning pool. She's going to go for it right now. She's got to break out, but she's dead. Armani gets her with a cheese on the biggest map in the pool. Ooh, and I think, guys, let's point out exactly what Scarlett needed to do. And this is reminding me of what I should be doing as well. I think, if we think about it, there's 2 paths across the map, but they're never going to take the left path because that's just way longer to go all the way around the left. They're always going to go the right. So your second Overlord on this map should actually be path. So she sent it there. It should actually be path to go here and then here. Ah, okay. And I think that's going to keep you safe against this, or at least let you spot it a bit earlier. Even just a little bit of a head start on the spine crawler, the micro, you know, maybe build an Evo chamber over here to block the good spine positioning, that sort of thing could have been big. But basically, this Overlord just didn't quite see these units, whereas I think if she paths it to there and then to there, as well as this one straight through the middle as normal, she's going to get earlier warning of what's going on. And that's going to allow her to be at least 1 more pair of Zerglings. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it can make a big difference. She can also pull off gas earlier. Since gas is the last thing you need in this scenario. Nonetheless, though, Armani, aggressive as always, gets another win on the board. He only needs 1 more. All right, up here in the top left, guys, we've got Shopify Rebellions, SCARLETT. In the bottom right, we've got none other than, of course, is he still on the Africa Freaks? Can we get a check on that, guys? If people in the chat could let me know. I believe he's on the Africa Freaks. This is Armani. And it looks like on Berlingrad here, we are on the map of the doggos, of course. The doggos cheering on their players. Now, a lot of people say the critters are really annoying on all the maps. You cannot blow up the doggos. Some of you have heard this many times from me saying it. And yet every day I still have people, whenever I bring up the doggos, they say they're the most annoying because you can't blow them up. You can. You can't select them. but because it doesn't show a circle, but it is actually selecting it. If you're playing and you spam left click on that doggo enough times, it will explode. It won't work for me because I'm observing, but if the players do it, it will explode. It takes about 15 clicks total. You'll hear it make disgruntled noises before it blows up. Now, people would say that's kind of cruel. Why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes these critters do actually block your buildings. So definitely something which sometimes you might want to go for. We do have a confirmation, by the way. Armani is indeed on the Africa Freaks. Big thank you to Jamie in the chat, aka Booyah and Branches, for looking that one up. Thank you very much, guys. I always feel bad if I'm attributing teams and the team's actually changed and there's a new team. So thank you very much. I always go to say the player's name, then I'm like, wait a second, I haven't actually seen them in that jersey in a little while. I'm not 100% sure. Let's double check. So thanks for that, guys. Of course, this is a gas pool for Armani, which is a much quicker Ling speed. Now, this could be done just for map control. It could be done for a fast Ling Bane all-in, or not even all-in, but just very strong timing attack of about 19 drones. Or it could be used for an all-in of 17 drones. So you could go Queen and then do nothing but like Ling speed and more Zerglings and just bank up and do a giant attack. You can see Queen, Ling speed, hasn't pulled off gas, which indicates we want a very quick Bane Nest to follow this up. Or technically it could be like Mutas, I guess, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some aggression here. Whatever pops out after this Overlord tells us a big story. That's a very quick Bane Nest. It's a 16 drone. Okay, he's building one more drone. Still 17 drones, guys. There's all ins and then there's all ins. That's insanely committed. Now, against a player who plays pool first, like this with the 6 Ling pressure, normally you assume it's a gasless wall off. But this is a very small percentage of the time, the follow-up. So the question is, will SCARLETT try to cut a corner, assume it's the gasless build, and play really greedy to match the greed? Because if she does, she's probably dead. So let's see how SCARLETT responds. For now, 6 Zerglings, 2 drones, fighting against the 6 Zerglings of Armani. It's a 3-for-3 trade, and she does defend nicely. But like I said, what does she do in the follow-up? She's building 4 queens. Oh, that's so good for her. But wait, why is she going Ling speed if she's going 4? Oh, what the fuck? SCARLETT's doing a Jim Rising / Uko build. 2 base speedling? Oh, SCARLETT, this is the most disgusting shit. Stop influencing NA ladder players to do this. This only makes sense against what your opponent's doing. Why would you go Ling speed on 2 base? Oh, this is so gross. It's such an inefficient build. But it's actually perfect because he's committing to a Ling Bane all-in and she's got 4 queens. So it's the easiest hold of her life. This is the biggest build order counter. Armani's like, what? Why would you just build 4 queens? That doesn't make any sense. And she's like, North America, bitches. Bam! She's like, my fucking mass queen 2 base build order. Yeah. She did put the wrong queen in the wall, but she's got a full Evo wall off. The queens should focus the Banes. No focus fire for SCARLETT. There we go. Okay, she tries to get up another Evo. She didn't focus fire the Banes. Once again, SCARLETT's micro is letting her down in these scenarios. Similar to game 1, she could have focused all those Banelings down and it would have been much easier to stop. Nonetheless, having 4 queens, still an easy defense. She doesn't even lose that queen and she's got Ling speed to counterattack. She's gonna go melee behind this. I mean, this is literally a hard counter. If you go 4 queens and your opponent commits to a 17 drone Ling Bane attack, they are so sad when they go in there. Like, Armani is just like, are you freaking kidding me? A full wall off and 4 queens? And now there's Ling speed to counter pressure. So he's got to make Banelings right now. And he's even got to make a spine just to survive. Oh, he's in such trouble. Finally, the build orders do come out in SCARLETT's favor. Carapace, what an interesting build order. And I say interesting because normally if you're making queens, they're only good defensively. But if you're making Zergling speed, that's an offensive ability. But if you're walling off with Evos and a Roach Warren, that's very defensive. But also if you're making Zerglings, they're very lava intensive and you need a 3rd. So the problem with SCARLETT's build is that it's got a bunch of different things that pull in different directions. So you've kind of got competing forces. The advantage of it is it shuts down aggression with the queens, number 1. And number 2, it's a bit of a mind game. It's kind of hard to read because these sort of play could go in it could be Mass Roach. It could be a melee upgrade into Mutas, but she canceled her melee, swapped to Carapace, right? It could just be, I'm gonna take a 3rd and then just play a completely normal game. There's so many paths she can take and they're all slightly less optimized, but there's no easy reads. It really is a black box because it's a very flexible opening from SCARLETT and she's gonna go into Ravager Ling. Oh no, SCARLETT! Oh no, that's why you don't leave your Zerglings sitting on the edge of vision like that, guys. You don't just leave your Zerglings sitting there as the front running units. She had a second or 2 to respond, but yeah, not the best micro from SCARLETT. Obviously, in that scenario, it was just her attention wasn't there. I think her Zerglings just should have been sitting a little bit further back just for safety. But Spire, sorry, is on the way there for Armani. And he's actually going to go Spire into third, but she's going for a big Ravagerling all in, guys. She might make Banes with this, but no Baneling Nest on the way. She started Roach Speed and cancelled it. She's going all in Nidus. Okay, she says time for a taste of your own medicine, Mr. Armani. Except this one is actually a little bit more tailored to this build order. She's got Carapace. She will now start Roach Speed. She's got a 5th Queen coming out. So she's going to pop out a ton of units inside his base, and even if she doesn't have enough queens to beat the mutas, which might be the case, I think that's acceptable for her because the attack is just going to be so hard to stop. Now, she's going to launch the attack across the front. She thinks about walking the queens and decides, no, that's actually silly. That's not going to work. Now, the question is, does she try to make Ravages? Because that's a lot of spines. Or does she think she can get in here before the spines are ready? I don't think she can. That Baneling, that hero Baneling, notice he avoided the roaches and he's going after her Zerglings. Oh, very nice Baneling. She does avoid it, though, to some extent. She's going to kind of gather up on the front. Armani pulling the drones. The boys are being pulled. The mutas are here. This is a great defense, but... oh, Nidus in the main. If he can stop that, it's big. But remember, Niduses have 3 armor. Zerglings do piss all damage to them. The roaches are trying to wriggle past. Oh my god. He can't kill it. Quick, transfuse. Oh, she's going to transfuse it. And she's even popping out another one right now, guys. Dude, she keeps it alive. Now, she does lose all the roaches on the front. She's got to hold this position. That heavy energy queen is going to go down. It's trying to get back. If it could pop in the Nidus, that would be huge. Drops the transfuse before it does go down. And here we go. Now the roaches are out inside the base. So many drones are falling for Armani. But if he can clean this up, he might be okay because he's got the muta air control. Oh, his mutas are dying, though. There's more queens popping out. His mutas are dying. His mutas are dying. Every single muta's going down, and the drones, the spines are here. But, of course, Spine Crawl is not very mobile. They're called static defense for a reason. Even though they're not technically static with Zerg, it's kind of like repositioning some sort of fortification. You know, you're rolling around a very slow piece of artillery, so to speak. They do not reposition quickly. The spines are now here. But it's not enough, and SCARLETT does break Armani there, an advantageous opening, a fantastic hold at the start, and she shuts him down with the Nidus Queen. Carapace Roach attack. The Carapace, of course, meaning the drones, the Zerglings, the mutas, and the queens. All the units that Armani had are very low damage units. Zerglings, 5 damage attack. Roaches and queens both have an armor, plus an armor. The drones and the Zerglings were only doing 3 damage in attack. The queens do 2 4 damage attacks. 2 times 4 minus 2, 2 times 2. They were literally doing half the damage. So you add literally 60% damage for your Zerglings and drones, 50% for the queens of Armani. And that's most of the hold. So especially when she was fighting away from the spines in the main base, you're like, holy shit, that Carapace upgrade gets insane value in that scenario. Very nicely done to take it to the ace match. All right, let's go. It's all going to be decided here on Hardwire, which I actually really like. This is one of my favorite maps. I don't think there's a single kind of race that I'm like, oh, I hate this map. Like, it just seems, it's kind of long, it's kind of tall vertically, but it's just a fun map. Up here in the top right, this is, of course, SCARLETT from Shopify Rebellion. Her opponent in the bottom left, it is Armani. What's up? Oh, there we go. There she is, a lovely Karak. It's a beautiful, elegant creature, isn't it? Do you think you could ride one like a chocobo? Has anybody out there created like a chocobo racing mod or arcade map for StarCraft? It's Karak riding. Get on it, modders. Get on it. Untapped market. It would be a fun time, I think. Both are going to open up with Hatch first, so nice and chill. But who's the better player? SCARLETT, clearly. Right? Guys, SCARLETT's hatchery is a full second ahead. Her spawning pool's 2 seconds ahead. They're doing the exact same build order, right? Oh, no, she actually... oh, she's playing safe because he cheesed. So she actually did get her gas and pool 1 supply earlier, I believe. Okay, so she's played a little bit safer there, I think. I think she delayed her drones by just ever so slightly. However, so basically, as I say that, she's actually up a drone. Okay, so she's, she's just a few seconds ahead of him. Okay, so she's on the side of the map. Her drones spawned down here. They had to travel longer to get up on the mineral patches. His drones spawned here. They had less time. Yet SCARLETT is ahead a full second on everything. Objectively the superior player. The series is basically over. I'm pretty sure this is a 3-2 to SCARLETT, guys. I don't know how you can come back from being so incompetent. This is terrible, Armani! How did you let this happen? I'm kidding. This makes effing no difference, guys. SCARLETT is going the earlier Overlord. He starts his slightly later. Just a slight build order of, you know, divergence there. He squeezed an extra drone out a little bit faster there, which is why he's up one now. They're both going to go Ling Speed, and she pulls 1 off gas. He pulls 2 off gas. So Armani going to go for a bit more mineral focus and defensive play most likely here. Could put back on quickly though, so we'll keep an eye on it. Whereas SCARLETT's doing a bit more middle of the road. She's like, yeah, we'll have enough gas for a bit of baneling safety, potentially aggression. Also though, going to get a bit more minerals. And look, he's already put fully back on gas. So he just wanted to get the third down as quickly as possible and then go straight back into it. Her third's just a few seconds later. Now, she's still 2 out of 3. He's 3 out of 3. He's going for a quicker third queen. Now, if you're going really aggressive, you don't necessarily need the third queen. However, we saw in game 1, Armani went 28 drone, 3 queen non-stop Ling Bane aggression, right? So that was an interesting branch. So he still might just build 2-3 more drones and then just go full assault. SCARLETT's going to skip the Baneling Nest. This is a SCARLETT special. SCARLETT loves playing greedy NA StarCraft, right? I've told you guys before. She likes to cut corners. She likes to go fast melee upgrades if she can get away with it. She likes to, she does, just say, no, I'll just micro my queens well. Like if you hit me with Ling Bane, I'll just focus them down with the queens. The thing that worries me is if Armani were to commit to Ling Bane aggression, SCARLETT's Ling Bane micro and queen focus fire micro has been way weaker than I expect from her in this series, right? I've seen her do way better. So she's having like an off micro day for sure. There's no other explanation that I can come to. Now she's gone carapace. Interesting. So she's looking for that same opening as last game. It gives you a lot of meaty flexibility. He does see the very quick Evo chamber upgrading. His Evo is of course not quite finished. Doesn't necessarily tell him there's no Baneling Nest. He's playing so defensive though. He's going to go for the Roach Horn there in the wall. He can plug that with a queen. Once again, I think that Roach Horn should be 1 square higher just to make it a bit easier to plug with the queen, but we'll see. Zerglings come in. She doesn't see any drones on the third just yet, but it's not really time for that. And, oh, he's going to get in. Armani's going to get in. He's like, okay, very important. He sees no lair. He saw everything going on. He saw that she has a Roach Horn on the way. She's now going to go up to 3 gases. Hurlings are going to pressure on the other side. Remember, she does not have a Baneling Nest. So she's very happy just to be keeping him pinned back here. She'll get some damage on the queen. Loses a Zergling for it, that's fine. And they're both going to go for the lair. Her lair is a little bit quicker. Another Zergling gets in, sees it. Great scouting for both players. Now, it looks like SCARLETT's brought some of her Lings home. Oh! She almost lost a drone to that Zergling, ouchies. I think she may have just lost some Zerglings. No, she's just pulling them all home. Fair enough. So she's pulling all her Zerglings back. She's going to use her queens to defend. She's got 5 roaches on the way. I think she's just going to drone up off this, though. I don't think she wants to commit to an all-in. It's a rather long map, and she knows that he has a Roach Horn. So to just make roaches and go for an attack is very dangerous. Now, she is making 12 more Zerglings, so I guess she's going to feint it a little bit. Maybe use the roaches for the defense, send the Lings for a bit of aggression. She's sending Lings down the right side. Overlord sees that, though. He sees it. He doesn't have the greatest map vision. This Overlord should really be out here. So I got to criticize this random Overlord on the left. I guess you need it to see surprise attack. Speaking of which, 7 drones. Always aim for those center of the mining mass areas, right? Here. Those are the areas where you want those Banelings to detonate. He does it fantastically. He's building 9 roaches of his own, and she's fainting, guys. This is not a real attack. She's fainting, and her roaches just turn around and walk home. So she was trying to scare him into an overreaction, and she does get him to build a lot of roaches. Guess what? He's not starting roach speed. She is, because he thought she was committing to an all-out attack. He realizes, wait, there's no units rallying. He now starts a delayed roach speed, goes back to droning, and she's going to try and squeeze the Spire in. So SCARLETT going to 66 drones, Armani going to 66 drones, full macro mode for both players. She's got Lings hidden in the bottom right. He's going to take a quick 4th. On the front, she's taking it on the edge. That makes sense. She's playing muters. So oh my god, SCARLETT again runs into a Baneling. How many Banelings can you run into in one series? SCARLETT, I told you guys she's been on fire recently, and she really has. Her builds, her awareness, her strategic decisions have. And who knows, maybe that's why she's playing so well. Maybe she's like, you know what, I'm not as focused on the micro, and I'm actually happy to make more mistakes there because I'm doing everything else better. On the strategic level, on the decision-making level, on the macro level. Maybe that's the focus here. It's just surprising to see her run into so many Banelings today and fail to focus them down. That's great, micro. You could see the way she was shoot, move with the queens. Gets an Overseer kill. Means there's only 1 Overseer left alive. Did he see the Spire? Yes, he did. So she is actually kind of brazen here. Her Spire gets spotted, and she still still commits to the mutas. She's only building Ling's melee upgrades here. She's like, yeah, that's fine. A lot of players would have pumped roaches out then because they would have expected Armani to thrust across the map with roaches, trying to get her before the mutas are ready. And oh, he didn't micro it. Oh no, he could have got so many more there, but he didn't. He was too busy macroing. So he looked back at it a second too late, gave her time to spread. 5 drones, still not bad, but it definitely could have been better. He's on 72 workers, which is a much better economy. He's going straight lurkers. He's trying to build spores out here. He's building queens. And look at this, guys. It's a row of spores that's going to connect his bases. Oh, beautiful play. I would love to see a spore there as well, but I guess it's not the most important thing. She's locked him in his base. Changeling. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're not allowed through here. You're in quarantine. This is queen lockdown. You will, your temperature's too high. You can't come out here. Okay, he notices. He does eventually notice and get out of there. Now he's going to try and go up to Hive. So basically Lurker Viper defense, right? We know that's very good versus mutas, and she's doubling down on mutas right now. Now, because he's already got so much economy, I would favor Armani's situation here. I actually think he's in the better spot because she's done no damage. And if your opponent's already got a 4th base locked down, like, you desperately need to do damage. So she's going to run in and look for something with a bit of multi-prong, go after the drones with the zerglings, pick off a spore crawler with the roaches. She doesn't have a bigger ground army, but she's just staying mobile and trying to catch him off. Now, Armani's like, hey, are you committing to Lingbane Muta, or are you doing something else? He sees the Baneling nest wobbling. He sees no roaches pumping out, no Hydra dens, no hive, no infestation pit. So the thing is, he's got to check, when does she swap back into Roach Lurker Viper as well? And what he's finding is she's not doing that. She's going 4 base, fully saturated. 5th base, almost finished. She's playing mega economy. I am going to throw Lingbane Muta at you, and I'm going for your worker lines. So he's got a good lurker spread, but he should evo wall. Something we know about lurkers, guys, is unless your opponent has Serral micro, no offense, I'm giving Serral as an example of bad micro. Serral's Baneling run-bys are some of the most average Baneling run-bys you find. Baneling drop for Armani, get 7 drones. Everything else he does is near perfect, but his Baneling run-bys are not that great. Let's see, though. Oh, my God. SCARLETT answers. 15 drones. Armani, you got to watch the back door. No lurker over here. As I said, you want to wall off to funnel Baneling run-bys into the lurker spines. Otherwise, they will find a way in. Now, good roach positioning this time around. Armani needs to re-drone that, like, super fast. But he's actually low on lava because his queens were pulling to the front. And because of that, he's not injecting properly. Notice no queen on any of his bases. You got to keep queuing those injects, Armani. So Armani kind of messing up a little bit there. And that means SCARLETT. She's only on 76 drones, but she's adding more. She trades a muta for a spore there. She's trying to open up holes in the defense. And she's going to roll more Banelings in here. Like I said, the lurkers need to be there. And you actually want Evo. And then the Banelings will have to run into the lurker spines. Because the lurker splash is directional, you need to try and funnel them into it. If they run kind of parallel or on a diagonal, every lurker spine can miss, essentially. Or if you're super pro with SCARLETT, you can even split a Baneling off. They're not burrowed! They're not even burrowed! Okay, he notices it. The hatchery will take a lot of damage, but that's about it. Oh, wait! You kidding me? Oh my God, a big screw up there from Armani. Turns around too quickly. Banelings are going to roll into that base. They hurt a lurker and get like a few drones. Nothing, not too much. But remember, she's got 82 workers and his economy is weak. He's really got to get this defense up. And this is why you also want to build infestors, guys. Oh my God, he can't lose that base. He cannot lose. If he loses that, she's got it. She got his 4th. Oh my God, I told you guys, Armani had the perfect setup to defend this, but he just can't do it. She's just rolling in. Ever since that first Baneling run by, she's smashing these 2 angles repeatedly. I'd love to see her rotate now around the back. If she can slide her mutas in the back, I feel like she could open up a new front. It's dangerous though, because he's got 3 Vipers gathering energy. She does not know the Vipers are out yet. Those parasitic bombs could be deadly against the massive mutas. She's got 13 mutas with +1. She's got 2-1 upgrades. She's going infestation pit. She's going to do the ultra transition because SCARLETT's a massive fucking Chad gamer. And she just fucking goes for the ultras. None of this cowardly lurker transition bullshit that I see from people these days. SCARLETT knows the power of the mutiling Bane into ultras. She's gonna do the badass style. She's gonna do the badass style. She's gonna do the style where you just swamp them. You swamp them with Lingbane. Now, at this point, I always talk about it, and a few pros finally started doing it after me shouting about it. I saw it from TLO. He was the one who taught us. In this scenario, suddenly Armani's shut down most of the fronts. You do want to keep sniping that. That's an easy snipe. But you also want to make 6 speed overlords and drop 48 zerglings inside the main base. I'm not even fucking kidding you. It's a checkmate. You can snipe the hive with it. You can kill a bunch of drones while rolling Banelings into the other base. Those who watch my channel a lot, like Pig, you've talked about it before. pros don't do it for a reason. Yes, it's because they're not as smart as I am, chat. I know. If only they could share my brain cells and I could share their ability to not be bad at StarCraft. If only we could combine our abilities. We'd be perfect. It's the same way when we got Gabe's hands and Twitch chat's brain. It was like the perfect combination. We were winning with nukes and planetary rushes. This is how StarCraft works. Twitch chat is way smarter than anyone realizes. So am I. I'm a part of Twitch chat now. Well, she's not actually finding damage, and he's going to get a sick max out. Unfortunately, he's not defending his air, his fourth base right now. Yeah, he needs to just chase him. Chase him. Throw some parasitic bombs. So, okay, so right now he's got like 1 billion spores. Queen's defending the main from the mutas. But remember, that's not going to defend Zerglings. Like I said, Zergling drop actually wins the game there. Serral, Raynor, a lot of these guys have missed the opportunity. I know Dark started doing it, and I had such a boner when Dark started doing it. Like Dark, everything I rant about in this scenario that players need to be doing more of, Dark has like added into his Mutiling Bane play. And it's why he kills people better than anyone else with Mutiling Bane. He'll then also do the dumbest fight of all time, and I'll shout at him, but you know, loving Dark, it's a love-hate relationship. It's the most passionate of relationships. Okay, damages some roaches. All right, so she's got the Ultra Tech on the way. Adrenal, +3 attack, +2 carapace, +2 air attack as well. Oh no! Armani! That must have been a misclick. Hydra's in the open against Banelings, not good. Oh! Okay, no, she doesn't get the Evo. She's gonna one-shot a queen, another queen, but she's gotta leave because she sees those Vipers coming, holding a nest of angry bees in their hands. And the mutas are like, yeah, let's not fuck with that. Let's back on out of here. Now, I do think she's taken too long to get more damage. I think she had big opportunities to get more damage here, to get a little bit more. Maybe not big, small opportunities to get a little bit more. But I don't think it matters because she's got such a bank, such an income. I think the most important thing, though, is she's not building Vipers. So when you swap into Ultras, what did Serral fuck up in that series versus Raynor in 2019 BlizzCon? And everyone said, Ultras are bad. He didn't build Vipers. Vipers are the most important part of beating Lurkers. When you play Ultras, you're meant to come in with 3 Vipers, Blinding Cloud, Blinding Cloud, Blinding Cloud. Ultras kill everything here, right? Ultras will destroy if you bring Vipers. She's forgotten to build Vipers, which means she could do it, but she can't actually break an entrenched Lurker position. So there's a good chance that she rolls in and takes a terrible fight. Armani could technically make a comeback from here. Now, there's players I believe in making comebacks from here. Armani is not one of them. I'm going to be honest. That's just an emotional assessment if he cracks under pressure in the late game. I've seen Armani get in a lot of good positions before, and very rarely is he an effective closer in the late game. I've seen him way up against Zest many times, and he almost always lets that lead slip away. Now, that's against Protoss. SCARLETT is not a Protoss player. She's making Dropper Lords! SCARLETT, it's a bit late, but you make me so happy right now. Oh, you make me so happy, SCARLETT. I think she's going to do Ultra Drops, though. I think Ling Drops are actually just better because it's so low cost. But we'll see how it goes. So she's going to, maybe Baneling drops even? I don't know. She's going to drop in the main, though. So she's going to do that. She could have done this 5 minutes ago, and it would have been game over by now, but that's all right. She's going to do it. It's going to be cool. Still no Vipers. The most important unit is not out for SCARLETT, and that means we're giving time for Armani, guys. Now, Armani has really messed up on one big feature, and that is the upgrades. So I actually just realized he hasn't made any Carapace upgrades, guys. He's only now making +1 Carapace. So when you're playing against Mutiling Bane, Carapace is the most important upgrade. That Evo channeled the Banelings into the Lurkers. Well worth it. Should replace that. So why is it the most important? Lings, Mutas, all do very low damage. So as nice as it is to have extra damage, most of your defense is Spores and Lurkers, and you're not going to kill Lings, Banes, or Mutas faster due to upgrades. Carapace keeps your units alive a lot longer. It's actually the more important. Ultra Drop! Let's go! Does she have Overseers here? Yes, she does. She's got to pick off those Lurkers. She gets them with the Mutas. She doesn't want to stay in Spore range too long with those Mutt-Mutts. Oh, the Baneling's on the ramp! Oh, this is sick. She opens a new front in the main. And I'm telling you guys, all you need to do with this style is open a new front. Armani is so immobile. It's actually insane. He's just so immobile. And look, she's only bringing a few Mutas in because she's worried about the knees. The knees, the bees. The nest of bees! The nest of bees! Armani's playing Chinese and he goes for the double nest of bees, but that's only a small pack of Mutas. Another nest of bees lands in the face. Beehive. Ow! 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 But you know what? She's done the damage. As I said, you can always kill the hive with that maneuver. She gets the damage done. She's got 9 more Ultras. Still no Vipers on the way for SCARLETT. She has forgotten the most important piece of the puzzle. And that's a problem, but I look at her bank and I say, I don't think it's really a problem, Pig. it's not really a problem when you have 8,000 resources in the bank. She loses a hatch that is completely unimportant right now. And it's like, well, how does Armani ever get another base? Now, how many lurkers does he have? 14? I don't know if that's enough. 11 ultras, and the hydras are nearly useless if she has banelings. She doesn't have banelings. And she still has a lot of supply in mutas. There is the dream's alive. He's got a giant, scary army. Does Armani. Her carapace +3 is not quite done. It won't be ready for this fight. She's got to Sanger this. Those ultras need to come in on the bottom left. You need to surround. You don't want to fight in a choke point. A terrible angle for Scarlett. She realizes and pulls back, but not before the ultras are heavily wounded. You've got to get a surround. Ultras are melee units, but she's letting him in. Oh, I think the lurkers are exposed enough. She can take it. She's going to go for it. The lurker's very exposed on the back line. The bees! The mutas are getting savaged by the parasitic bomb, but the ultras disappear. It's just too many ultras. The lurkers were too exposed. If you're going to take a fight like that in such a bad position, Armani should have shuffled into the choke point more so less ultras could get him. His lurkers were sticking out on a big angle, and they got flanked and surrounded there. Now, he does a great harassment at the same time. Lurker up there in the left does kill a lot of drones, but she can replace that. She's not going to replace that. She's going to go 13 ultras to go up to 16 total. Because as I said, say it with me, chat, Scarlett is a Chad gamer. She fucking fights. When she's got a billion money, she says, yeah, let's just win the game now. Still no Vipers. Makes me very upset, but it is what it is. I mean, imagine 1 or 2 blinding clouds on those lurkers and hydras during those fights, guys. It's actually a thing where I will die on this hill. No one has perfected how to kill Lurker Hydra Viper by a long shot with Mutiling Bane. No one has perfected it. There are so many missing details. The number of times we see this drop enter the main 5 minutes after it could have entered, the number of games where Vipers are just never added, and now there's a Broodlord transition on the way for Scarlett. He has rebuilt his hive. That's a lair. He's got a hive somewhere? Oh no, he doesn't have a... Wait, what? Oh, that's her hive. I'm looking at the wrong unit structures tab. Never mind. Scarlett! Accidentally rallying some ultras in there. 2 of them do get popped. More parasitic bombs go down, the bees. So she's actually still in an amazing position, but Vipers, I definitely think, is the winner. I think rebuilding her drones, also a winner, just to ensure victory. And if she can just kill this base, he's out of mining, essentially. This base is almost dry. He's trying to rebuild his tech right now. Yeah, he's pretty screwed. Obviously, the problem is getting detection in range and keeping it alive, but that's where, like I said, if you go blinding cloud there, it's like, well, the spores aren't killing your overseers as well. So there's a double advantage to those blinding clouds. Banelings! Oh, that'll do, Banelings. And look, the overseers, he's trying to focus down the overseers, but there's too many. She's like, she knew he was going to try and focus the overseers, so she had like 10 losers for them, 6 still alive. The Space Cows will triumph. What an action-packed Zerg vs. Zerg series. I do love that she did the ultra drop in the main. It's savage. And he's going to try to fight back. He's like, maybe I could get the perfect composition. But he gave up that when he did his attack. He could have patiently played it out, because why? Scarlett has shown she does not want to go Viper Lurker against him, number 1. Number 2, she does not want to build Vipers at all to support her ultras. So she's playing an ogre composition right now. She's going, Ugh, me hit you with Ultralisk. Which is basically, I just got a shitload of Space Cows and they A move, and hopefully I bring some detection in with them. It's not a complicated composition. There was a dream. If Scarlett got stubborn and stayed on this for too long, if he didn't go for that Lurker Hydra push, there was a chance. Now, at this point, look at this. These ultras are bait. These ultras are bait. She's found the hive down here. I'd love to see her burrow, but she doesn't have it. I would have loved to see her run in here at the same time, but I guess too many lurkers up there. Scarlett is still not rebuilt her economy that much. Now she's going to go for a Broodlord swap. So the funny thing is she knows he doesn't have many Vipers. He's only got 2. And the reason Broodlords suck is they can get abducted, right? So Broodlords, you can abduct them into your Hydras, your spores, and they just die. So Broodlords is literally the most, I just want to win the game. Like, I'm just going to hope you don't have the answer to this, and maybe this works out. He's gonna, Armani, focus fire. He's gonna kill, he's gonna kill. He's gonna catch a bunch of Broodlords. No, Armani, he didn't notice. He didn't click on the hatch. He's got a lurker harassing up there. Oh, he could have killed like 5 Broodlords. Okay, now he's gonna abduct them, but no, he doesn't have enough anti-air. You gotta get out of there, Armani, run. Armani, run. Armani, what are you doing, bro? Get out of there, run. The lurkers killed the broodlings almost instantly, actually. That's kind of crazy. I did not realize they killed the broodlings so quickly. A parasitic bomb on a broodlord. You don't see that every day. The ultras say no way home. No way. Oh shit, no overseer. No overseers. Where are her overseers? She's like, shit, I don't have any overseers over here. Damn it. Ah, they were all at the top left, clearing up some lurker harass, which by the way, he killed another 25 workers. Well done. Well done, Armani. She's still got double the worker count though. The broodlords, like I said, Scarlet right now is like, how many times do I have to hit you over the head with a bomby knocker before I can knock you unconscious? Armani's like, what the fuck is a bomby knocker? And she's like, it's what this is that's hitting you in the fucking head repeatedly. That's right, bomby knocker. The best fucking name in the world. Is it not? Blast from the past. Fucking bomby knocker ZvZ. The way to do it. It's where you get ultras and broodlords and you fucking whack them over the head. Hells yeah. Scarlet coming on in. You see, look, they abduct into spores. Look how quickly those broods die. But obviously there's just not enough vipers. She's got so much more money. And she is like, I have more stuff. And it does take him down in the end. Very nice. I love to see the drop in the main. 5 minutes after I've started shouting about it. Scarlet, you are actually one of the best mutilating bane killers in the world. I rant and rave about everyone making mistakes. Hopefully she makes Vipers next time and wins 5 minutes earlier. Hi-oh! GG, well played to Scarlet, though. An amazing comeback after a very rough start to that series. Both players going hard at it. I do think it was kind of interesting. Let's like actually look at the units lost tab really quickly. She lost 49 mutas, 66 pains. There was a few moments, right, where the early defense, because like he had that 4th up and saturated and a line of spores and lurkers when she first started doing damage, right? So yeah, this was kind of like interesting because her first 4 banelings in the bottom right really got things going, right? It was such a small little run by that she does. The way she opened this up was beautiful. So she runs in here and she splits just a few banelings down there. Yeah, this is where everything got going, because at this point, okay, his work account's not great, and I would say he's actually made a huge mistake already at this point. So let's point out, what's Armani done wrong? He has not droned hard enough. I know that sounds silly, but the thing is, if you're going to build 11 spore crawlers, that's 11 dead drones. So he's only on 67 right now. And the thing is, you're always going to lose drones and take damage in this sort of game. But he's got all the essentials up. What do I mean by that? He's got 5 lurkers and 21 roaches. So what you do with those is you always leave some defense here, and the rest up here, right? So you're basically covering all angles from banelings. He forgot about this angle, which is obviously a huge mistake, but you've got enough there to basically defend it, guys. You've got enough there to defend it. You need to drone this base because you're going to be building more spores. You're going to be replacing spores. You're going to be replacing drones, overlords inevitably. So I think what function do the Hydralisks give you? I would say nothing. So I think building Hydras and Hydra upgrades is actually the lowest priority here. I actually think purely Queens, spores, drones, lurkers, and then Vipers. Maybe a few extra roaches, but he already had more than enough. So I do think Armani kind of overcommitted to that. And then obviously this was a huge hit for her. 15 drones there. That connection, clearing out literally every drone on 5 mineral patches except 1. That was a 9 drone pair of banelings. Like that was huge damage. And because he wasn't droning up to 75, 80 already, it hurt even more because now he's kind of locked on 50 drones and she's finding bits of damage. And as she finds more damage, he kind of ends up a little bit behind the curve, right? And suddenly any little bit of damage she finds ends up adding up. Not just that, guys, remember he was missing injects because he actually only had 6 queens. I would have rather he built 8 or 9 queens to double down on that and actually leave a few injecting there, because I really felt like the beginning of this stage, if you're going Mutilating Bane and your opponent's got like a 75, 80, 4-base drone economy all secured, it's really rough. But in this case, it's like, wait, you have all these Hydras and these Queens. Why are we still taking damage to mutas? So she shouldn't have been able to snipe those spores and those drones, for instance, like, right? Absolutely not. She gets in, gets even more damage there, 13 more drones, and these mutas are coming in. The Queens are all the way off on the main for far too long before they come back over here. And the thing is, you should be able to defend this without Vipers. This is also where the other piece comes in, where rather than rushing Vipers and Lurkers out, you can actually defend this perfectly with Queens, Roaches, and Spores. You don't need anything else. If you want to, though, if you add 3 Infestors without Pathogen Glands, just 3, you can't be darting in like this as Scarlet without much more fear. right? You can leave one infestor there, the other two infestors over here. And anytime she comes in, there's always the danger of that fungal landing on 20 banelings, and they all die without hitting anything. Catching the mutas, right? And 4 or 5 mutas die before they get out of the fungal. So that sort of thing is really big. But these hydras, notice how the hydras did nothing in this scenario. Hydras are a fragile unit. They're just not as effective as having more spores, queens, roaches, tanky units. They're too vulnerable to just dying if a few of them get caught out. They're too expensive. And once this 4th went down, SCARLETT had him where she wanted him. She was in the advantage, and she really just carried it through perfectly. From there, the multi-prong Lingbane Muta, the eventual Ultra drop in the main, to just taking a billion bases, constantly rotating around, looking for angles, always splitting when Parasitic Bomb hit her. Fantastic play from SCARLETT. Really well played. GG's, well played.